Hey guys, what's up? This is Sports Fan Network, and I'm Travis.
And I'm Andrew.
And today we wanted to bring on our new college football analyst, Kenny Granke. Say hello to them, Kenny.
What's up, guys? First of all, I just want to say glad to be part of the family and glad that you guys are giving me this opportunity. So let's have some fun and kick some ass in this episode now.
Yeah, it's going to be a lot of fun. We're glad you're here. And so for this video today, we're going to be talking about the Week 4 college matchups. And what we did for this video is we broke it down to 5 key games that we think will be the best this week. So starting off with our first game, we got Duke, who's 3-0, versus North Carolina, who's 1-2. What do you guys see for this game?
Well, yeah, it's an interesting matchup. When you think of Duke and North Carolina, your first thought always goes to basketball. But in football, this could be actually a very interesting matchup for me this week.
Yeah, definitely. This is going to be a very interesting matchup. It's kind of crazy to think North Carolina comes in this game 1-2. Obviously, losses to Louisville like that hurt them. But last week with a win over Old Dominion, they look like they're poised to get a win this week, and they're actually going to be my upset pick.
Yeah, that's an interesting pick. They lost Mitchell Trubisky last year, and just looking at the all-time series between these two, North Carolina leads it with a 59, 38, and 4. Some interesting things for me this week for this game is that the Blue Devils are coming into this game with the number 1 run defense, only allowing 47.7 yards per game. That's incredible.
Yeah, that's huge when you consider that in college football. It's a really run-dominated style of play, especially with the spread offenses out there now. And they've just been a dominant force on the defensive side of the ball.
Definitely. And if I could bring the conversation back to North Carolina for a second, I feel like we should touch on something that not many people are talking about, and that's Chaz Surratt, North Carolina's freshman quarterback. Obviously, taking over for Mitchell Trubisky is not an easy task, seeing as he broke a lot of records for North Carolina, especially in the passing game and completion percentage. And Surratt's averaging 70% to start this year off. And he doesn't look like he's slowing down. This doesn't look like one of those things where he had a few games and he's just going to come back down to earth. This kid looks like the real deal, and this kid looks like he's going to be something special for them for years to come.
Yeah, that'll be interesting also to see with Duke. We talk about this great defense that they had. They're also only giving up 223 yards per game, which is 7th in the nation. So I think it'll be very, exciting to see how Chaz Surratt can match up against this Duke defense that has been a really dominant force all year so far.
Yeah, definitely. Well, we heard that, Kenny, he has North Carolina for this game. Andrew, who do you have for Duke versus North Carolina?
I'm going to take North Carolina as well. I like their offense. I like Chaz Surratt, like we just mentioned. And, that defense, I think it will be an interesting matchup. But I'm going to take North Carolina at home in this rivalry game.
Yeah, and for me, I'm going to have to go with Duke, just seeing their stats on defense. They've been able to hold their opponents to 12% conversion rate on third down, which is second best in the FBS. And that defense is just really good. I think they're going to be able to control the game. I think they're going to be able to hold North Carolina to not a lot of points. And I think they're going to come away with this win. And they're going to be able to get the Victory Bell Trophy, what they're playing for.
Yeah, well, that's not the only interesting matchup we have this week. Another great matchup that we're looking forward to is ranked number 16, TCU, going up against number 6, Oklahoma State, led by Heisman hopeful Mason Rudolph at quarterback. And what do you guys see with this matchup here?
Man, this week, this is the game where you guys set your DVR. You got to be ready, because this is going to be an old-fashioned Western shootout right here. Two high-powered offenses going at it. Lots of talent on both sides of the field. Honestly, this is the type of game where a defensive coordinator worries about his job going into Monday meetings.
Yeah, this is a defensive coordinator's nightmare. Looking at the stats, Oklahoma State has the number 3 ranked offense, and they are averaging an insane amount of 607 yards per game, and that is 4th nationally in scoring with 54 points per game. We cannot stress this enough. This is going to be a shootout to the end. It's going to be a lot of fun to watch.
Yeah, like I mentioned before, Mason Rudolph, quarterback for Oklahoma State, has had that Heisman campaign going for him. He's got 11 touchdowns so far this year, but a lot of that help has got to go to his wide receiving core, led by James Washington, who has 367 yards so far and 3 touchdowns. He's one of the best wide receivers in the country, and he's really the leader of this wide receiver group. That might be the best in the entire country, I think, so far, at least this year.
Yeah, James Washington, he's been playing great. We've been talking a lot about the Oklahoma State quarterback. How about the TCU quarterback, Kenny Hill? Kenny, what do you think of this guy?
Well, I don't just like him because he's got the same name as me, obviously. Kenny Hill's impressive this year. He's been an underrated player, I believe, that's been looked at by the nation. You're looking at Mason Rudolph. You're talking about Lamar Jackson. You're looking at all these guys. Kenny Hill is a guy that can light up the scoreboard. I mean, looking at the stats for him this year, his completion percentage is 75%. 75% at the college level, that's something that is just very impressive. Those are video game type numbers there. Hill's thrown for 8 touchdowns this year as well. That's only 3 less than Rudolph. And I think, like I said, shootout, gunslinger versus gunslinger this week, high-powered offenses. Get your cameras ready, set your DVRs. Bring a date over, because this is a game that's got to be watched. This is a game that could go down as probably one of the top games of this college football season.
Oh, yeah, definitely. I agree. Looking at TCU, they got a great quarterback, but they also have a dynamic duo in the running back field. They got Darius Anderson and Kyle Hicks, and I think that's going to be a key part of this game is can they get these guys going? Can they control the clock and try to keep that high-powered Oklahoma State offense off the field, because if they're not on the field, they're not going to be able to score.
Yeah, I mean, we talked about how Oklahoma State, how, their wide receivers really help complement Mason Rudolph in that passing game. With TCU, it's the running backs in the running game with, like you said, Anderson and Hicks, and they really help out Kenny Hill in that offense. And, I don't really think any team's going to get really help from their defense in this one. Like we said, this could be going to the 50s and 60s even in terms of scoring. It's going to be a really exciting game to watch overall.
Yeah, so we'll start with Kenny on this one. What's your prediction for the outcome of this game?
I mean, like we've all touched on, high-scoring game, lots of points. Scoreboards might explode during this game, so you got to be careful out there for fans of the game, But I'm taking Oklahoma State. I think Rudolph in that offense just too powerful, and I find that not only is Rudolph one of my Heisman picks, but Rudolph is a guy who I could see being a good pro quarterback. So I'm taking Oklahoma State in this game by a score of 57-51 in a shootout.
Yeah, I'm going to take Oklahoma State as well. I agree with you. Mason Rudolph, he's actually my favorite quarterback coming out in this year's draft class for quarterbacks. He's a big, strong pocket passer with a big arm that loves to take shots down the field, and it's just going to be too much for TCU, even though they have a great offense themselves.
Yeah, we're going to continue with the trend. I'm also going to have to go with Oklahoma State. Like we said, it's going to be a high-scoring game. I think the only way TCU can possibly pull this game off is they have to put pressure on Mason Rudolph. That's the only way. They're going to have to keep that offense off the field by running the ball. If they can get pressure on Mason Rudolph, then maybe they have a chance. But I think this Oklahoma State offense is just too much for TCU.
Yeah, well, let's move on to another game that might be a little bit of an opposite to this game. Mississippi State, ranked number 17th in the nation, going up against number 11 Georgia. Kenny, what do you think about this game?
This game, once again, is going to be another top of the heap game you're going to watch this week. I mean, Georgia, looking at the way they've been running the ball to start this year, is impressive. It's extremely impressive, averaging 230 yards on the ground per game. It's something that you don't really see too much of in college football, though, these spread and vertical type offenses. It's kind of a blast from the past. And just a side note here, this game is going to be in Athens. It's going to be at the University of Georgia. And Georgia historically does very, very well when they're in Bulldog country. So I think that this is going to be an interesting game to watch, especially.
Yeah, I think home field could kind of tilt the favor for Georgia in this game. But, man, having Nick Chubb and Sony Mitchell in the backfield, that is just offensive dreams in the running game. Also, I want to point out for Georgia, not only they have a dynamic running game, but they're also leading the SEC in scoring, averaging 47.7 points per game. And to go along with that dynamic offense, they also have the number 1 scoring defense with 9.3 points per game in the SEC. You think SEC scoring defense, it would definitely be Alabama, or at least on offense for them. But surprisingly, it's Georgia.
Yeah, you hit the nail right in the head there, Travis. I mean, they have the best offense in the country, at least stat-wise, and the best defense stat-wise. So Georgia's, they seem to be loaded, and I love their back. Nick Chubb is a dynamic running back, and Sonny Michael really does a good job of complementing him in the running game. I mean, it's really hard for me to see Mississippi State really stopping those guys in the running game in this game. So let's get some predictions for this one. I think it'll be a really fun game. I'm trying to mention how Georgia's really good at home. Who you guys got in this one?
In this game right here, I'm taking Georgia. I mean, Athens is a tough place to play for any team. And for Mississippi State, that's going to be no exception. Mississippi State's got a good running game themselves, but I think Georgia's top-tier defense shuts them down, and they win this game by the score of 17-9.
Ooh, low-scoring game. I like it. Yeah, for me, I think just because Georgia, they got that really good defense, I'm going to have to go with Georgia in this one, but I do not want to discredit Mississippi State's running offense. I mean, that is a lethal, and that is Georgia's going to have their hands full trying to slow that down. Obviously, this is a matchup between two top 20 teams, and I'm just going to have to go with the home team with this one and pick Georgia.
Yeah, I agree with you guys. I had to go Georgia on this one. I wanted to pick Mississippi State. It's going to be a little bit different here, but Georgia at home with that running game, that defense, it's too much to pass up for a win for them.
Yeah, but let me tell you, if Mississippi State knocks off two ranked teams back-to-back, that would be very impressive. I think if they do that, then I think they should be ranked around like 10 to 12 in between there because they've had a tough schedule so far.
Yeah, you talked about getting LSU last week. That would be very interesting if they can beat Georgia this week. But let's move on to the next matchup we have. This is a really good one. UCLA and Stanford, two West Coast teams duking it out here. Stanford has won 8 of the last 9, but they've kind of been a little bit of a cold start for them so far. 1-2 so far, while UCLA, they're 2-1. How do you guys see this game working out?
For this game, this is going to be a game that you're going to want to sit on the couch and watch as well. I mean, like you said, California, man, gotta love that California love. This game, it's going to be a close one. I'm taking UCLA just based on the fact that UCLA's offense has been unbelievable this year, along with the fact that Stanford's been struggling as of late. It's going to be a definite challenge for Stanford to come out of there with a win, but we'll see what happens.
Yeah, for me, I think this is another potential shootout game for me. One thing that I saw that was really surprising is Stanford, who's 1-2, and UCLA's 2-1, but Stanford is a 10-point favorite for this matchup. I know they've won the last 8 out of the last 9, but to have a 10-point favorite, that was pretty surprising for me. I'm going to go with Stanford, though. I think they're going to continue to – I think the current UCLA coach is 0-7 for Stanford. I think they're going to make it 0-8 against them.
Yeah, I'm going to go with Stanford as well. Even though Josh Rosen is the quarterback for UCLA, he's had a really good year so far. I mean, he had that amazing comeback in week 1 that he led for that game. But, yeah, like we said, this could be a shootout. But Stanford, they're kind of an old-school program, the way they kind of run their offenses. They love to, really beat teams in the trenches. I'm not sure UCLA really has enough talent in the trenches to really match up with Stanford. Like I said, they like to go old-school football in this one. And that might be a little bit too much for Josh Rosen, that offense kind of deal with for this one. So I'm going to go with Stanford in this one. It's going to be a close game, though, for sure.
Also, for me, another thing to watch out for this game is UCLA has really struggled to find their run game on the season. They've only averaged 3.36 yards per attempt. That is just really awful. And Stanford has really struggled to stop the run this season. So I think that is something I'm going to watch for this game to see, can UCLA get their running game going, and that'll kind of dictate how the rest of the year goes for them because you got to have a balance on offense.
Yeah, Josh Rosen can't do it all by himself. It's kind of been the theme for him in his college career so far. We'll see if they can kind of work that out in this next game.
Well, moving on to our final game of the week that we'll be talking about, it'll be Notre Dame versus Michigan State. Kenny, I'll start with you. What do you see in this game?
All right. On the contrary to all the other games we've been talking about today, this is going to be a game where the ball is run and run a lot. Notre Dame, as we've seen this year, loves to run the ball. They've had some trouble replacing Deshaun Kaiser, as we know. And I believe that Michigan State as well has a very good running attack. And it's going to be a close game. I'm taking Notre Dame in this one, just in the fact that I feel like this is going to be another Fighting Irish win. And I think it's going to be an exciting game either way, though. So, Andrew, who are you taking in this game?
Well, I'm actually going to take the Spartans in this game, and a lot of that has to do with the fact that they're 2-0 this season when they go against the spread. If you guys don't know, they're against the spread in this game too, as well in Notre Dame, even though they're at home. So I'm going to take the Spartans in this one, and maybe a little bit of an upset here. But like we said, Notre Dame has really struggled to pass the ball this year. They've been really one-dimensional offense, and just an interesting stat out there. They've only thrown for over 200 yards once this season. So, I mean, that's really something to watch out for, and I think it's something Michigan State can exploit in this game.
Yeah, that's really surprising to me considering college football, it's all about the aerial attack, putting up points, spreading the defense out. While this game, it's going to be won in the trenches. This is going to be a physical, smash-mouth football game. In fact, since 2005, each team has won 5 times. And for me, I'm going to have to go with Notre Dame in this game. I think their running attack is just slightly better than Michigan State's. I think they're going to be able to keep their offense off the field and control the clock and dictate the game. So I'm going to have to go with Notre Dame on this one.
All right, awesome. Now for you guys, I know I'm the new kid on the block, but we're introducing something new as well. At the end of all these videos for you guys now, we're doing a thing where we're going to pick an upset of the week. Now, as you guys already heard at the beginning of this episode, I picked UNC over Duke. Now I just want to get your guys' thoughts on your upsets of the week. Andrew, we're going to start with you, man.
Yeah, I'm going to go with the Big Ten matchup here with Iowa and Penn State. I think Iowa can somehow pull off the upset here. You know, we talk about how Notre Dame, Michigan State, 2 old school, run the football type of teams. Iowa's kind of the same way in this one. And I think they can kind of control the clock in this game, keep Penn State with all their weapons on offense off the field, and potentially go into Penn State and get an upset.
Yeah, and if they were able to get this upset, that would be a really big blow to Penn State as they're trying to make the college football playoffs. For me, my upset of the week, I got Kentucky over Florida in this SEC matchup. And a fun fact is the last time Kentucky beat Florida, gas only costed 89 cents a gallon.
I think that was a very long time ago then.
It's been a very, very long time, but something tells me that streak can finally end. You know, Kentucky, they're thinking about it. They want to end that.
Yeah, for sure. And that's really interesting to think about. That's such a long time. I can definitely see that, though, with the way Florida kind of struggles on offense. I saw an interesting stat where they had, I think, 4 or 5 touchdowns on defense going into this year from the last few games of last year, doing like 3 or 4 touchdowns on offense. So their offense has really struggled. Their defense is obviously really good, but maybe that's something Kentucky can exploit from this game. Well, guys, thanks for watching this new series for us here with all the college football videos. Keep a lookout for more videos for college football coming up next. Thanks, guys, for watching.
Yeah, thank you guys for watching. Thank you, Kenny, for joining us. Kenny's a new member of Sports Fan Network, so he'll be doing a lot of college football videos. We might integrate him into some fantasy football videos and other stuff, so stay tuned.
Yeah, thank you guys. Appreciate it very much for having me. And to all you guys, keep watching. Hit that subscribe button. We got some more good stuff coming up for you in the future. And just God bless and have a great day.